So we just poured over some stats on divorce, and I didn't even get to the fun ones, if you can even call it fun. They're really just sad. I found this site, a law firm based out of San Diego, Wilkinson and Finkbeiner, who did a very thorough analysis all about divorce. And here's just a few that I'm going to list. The likelihood of divorce goes up exponentially with each remarriage. 41% of first marriages, 60 to 67% of second marriage, 73% third marriage. So not a good idea to get into a marriage with someone who is thrice divorced. Going back to the age thing, those who wait to marry until they are over 25 years old are 24% less likely to get divorced. This one is actually interesting, and in a way, it does make sense. The human brain doesn't fully function until the age 25. We tend to be more rational and do less stupid stuff after the age of 25. This would make another tip to divorce-proof your potential marriage. If you are with someone who is older than 25 and they are still making really dumb mistakes, it's not a good sign. It's actually a major red flag, and I would consider ditching the relationship altogether. This one is on cohabitating. 60% of cohabitating couples will eventually marry. However, living together prior to marriage can increase the chance of getting divorced by as much as 40%. Here's another one. If you're a female serial cohabitator, a woman who has lived with more than one partner before their first marriage is more than 40% likely to get divorced than a woman who has never done so. Sexual history plays a huge role in potential divorces. A 2011 study at the University of Iowa found that for both men and women, the loss of virginity before age 18 was correlated with a greater number of occurrences of divorce within the first 10 years of marriage. Women with 6 or more premarital sexual partners are almost 3 times less likely to be in a stable marriage. So here's another tip. Keep your body count low, preferably 0. I obviously could spend an entire episode on just one of these statistics, and I probably will in the near future. And you can check out the rest of this list on their website, and I'll post the link in the episode description. But I do want to get back to the top reason on why couples divorce. According to numerous national surveys conducted, these are the top reasons people are divorcing today. We have lack of commitment at 73%, arguing too much at 56%, infidelity at 55%, married too young 46%, unrealistic expectations 45%, lack of equality in relationship 44%, lack of preparation for marriage at 41%, and then we have domestic violence. All these make total and absolute sense, and I totally understand why marriages spiral out of control. Because in the beginning, the excitement of getting engaged and preparing for the wedding causes you to ascend to heights that are very hard to come down from when the honeymoon is literally over. At that point, you're done being the center of attention, and then real life sets in. James Sexton, who is an acclaimed divorce attorney and expert on all things divorce, explains it really well here. And I think it serves as a warning of what not to get caught up in when you are preparing to make one of the most monumental decisions of your life.
Someone's divorced by their wedding.
I have found that the bigger the ring, the bigger the divorce, and the bigger the wedding spectacle, the more likely the divorce, in my experience. If you break down like the role of a bride in a traditional wedding, it's an unbelievably narcissistic pursuit for a woman. We're gonna do an engagement, which is you're going to give me a stone of tremendous value that I'm going to wear as a public display of the fact that I am now engaged in this commitment. And then I'm gonna put that on social media. And then we're gonna have an engagement party. So that's party 1. And then I'm gonna have a bachelorette party, party number 2. Then we're gonna have a rehearsal dinner, party number 3. Then we're gonna have the wedding, party number 4. And then we're gonna have a honeymoon. If this is really important to you, you're telling me a lot about yourself. You're telling me how important being the center of attention is to you. I think if the first time you get everybody you love in the same room as your funeral, you're an idiot. Like, I think you should celebrate. We've turned it into just a spectacle. I mean, the wedding industrial complex, man, trillion-dollar industry. And again, catastrophically fails more than 50% of the time.
So I cannot argue with that. If you're not looking at marriage as a literal calling from God, which in the Catholic Church we call that a vocation, if you're not looking at it from any kind of spiritual lens, you are in danger of turning this into a narcissistic pursuit, which will 100% guarantee that your marriage will fail. Couple this with social media and the whole sharing your feelings online, which I am sorry to say we all know that women predominantly do this. Now, I don't know about you, but I just don't think it's a good idea to be posting about your relationship online, especially when you're feeling emotional. Ladies, if you're having a bad day or if things are hard in your marriage, the last thing that you do is film yourself so that you can get your validation online from strangers. Believe me, it's not going to work out the way that you think. Take it from these ladies.
And the fact that it is now coming to an end officially tomorrow is mind-blowing. I cannot wait. I'm so impressed and proud of myself that I have been able to get through this divorce alone. To be 25 years old and doing something of this caliber is huge. I am the youngest out of my friends to be married, and now I'm the youngest out of my friends to be divorced. So I'm going to hold that with a lot of pride.
Many months later.
Tomorrow's Christmas, and I'm just crying because of how hard it's been. I feel like I'm trying to prove to myself I can be strong. It's really painful dealing with the loss of everything. Not having my husband.
I want to be independent. I don't need a man. I can do this all on my own.
A few moments later.
I just found out today that my ex-husband is engaged and I'm unwell.
And even though, yes, it was me that was like, hi, I want divorce. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. It brings up all these feelings. It brings up all this stuff. And we have a kid and it brings up all this stuff around him.
Everybody, I did it. Here I am. It's amazing. I feel like a different person already. I feel like I can do whatever I want and I'm not responsible for anybody anymore but me.
I don't know. Things aren't going that great.
I didn't know. I guess I did know. I would have this really strong reaction physically, trauma reaction to finding out that my estranged husband has been having a new relationship.
I was married for 21 years and cheating was never an issue in our marriage. In fact, that was the least of my worries. I never had to worry about it. I never thought I did. I never had a feeling that I had to worry about it. Never on either side. And then I got divorced and I come into the dating field and it is a absolute shit show. And if I had any idea what I was getting myself into, I probably would have stayed married.
I just thought today for a split second, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? What the is wrong with you? I thought, I should have just stayed. I should have stayed. It wasn't that bad. You made it 23 years. You made 26 years total. Your kids are college and one's almost out of high school. You made it. You made it. It didn't matter at this point. They can do their own separate life and all that. You made it to the point where you guys were making so much money and you had big houses and you could do whatever you want and you can relax. And I literally just called my friend and I was freaking out because I'm the biggest person that keeps me back. I'm terrified. I don't have 401k. My counsel did not have my back. I was so traumatized when I got out and then terrorized for the next year that I couldn't even think straight to help the people that wanted to help me. And the people I entrusted to help me didn't help me. And there's just timelines that you can't stop. And so it is what it is. And, I'm 47 years old. It's not like I'm 25. I'm healthy. Kinda. I have an autoimmune disease, which means it's life-threatening for the rest of my life. Things can change. But it's not like I'm an invalid and can't do anything for myself. But it is terrifying. I could have stayed. I'm so mad that I think this way. I could have stayed. My life would have been so much easier. I could have just gone and done whatever I wanted.
I'm not kidding. There are hundreds and hundreds of videos out there, all of women just like this, who were excited, even proud to get divorced, and who almost immediately regretted it after the fact. Studies are showing that up to a third of women who file for divorce regret it post-divorce. A third. So another tip, learn the cautionary tale of these women and don't post about your relationship online. I want to go back to the number one cause for divorce that has been reported, and that is the lack of commitment. In my opinion, this, along with pretty much all of the reasons listed, abuse being the one exception, are actually easily solvable if people can grasp this single concept about marriage. It's not about you anymore. The pursuit should always be to please the other person, not yourself. Like James Sexton was alluding to earlier, people like the idea of marriage. They want to be married, they want the ring, and they want the big wedding, they want the attention, but they don't know how to be married. They don't realize that marriage is 100% of the time you being completely selfless and sacrificing for the other person. And when I say that, I do mean both partners, by the way. I'm not just talking about this being a one-way thing. The woman is supposed to sacrifice 100%. The man is supposed to sacrifice 100% for the other. It's 100-100. It is not 50-50. You give it your all every day. And if you can't give it your all, if you're 70%, say, because you're sick or you were up all night with the baby, then that means that your partner has to try to dig down deep and give it that 130% that day until you're able to give it your 100% again. And it's that back and forth, concentrating on what the other's needs are at any given day. That's your individual role and your responsibility in your marriage. Embrace it and you will be much happier. And that right there, honestly, it's the trick. If I had the most perfect marriage advice that is bulletproof, guaranteed to divorce-proof your marriage, it would be this. Instead of focusing on yourself, instead of going inward all the time and thinking about your feelings and your struggles, your wants, needs, goals, etc., instead of all that, focus your energy and all of your thoughts towards making your spouse happy. If you can embrace this mindset, you will be happier too. I say this also especially for people who have kids. A lot of times when kids enter the picture, the spouses tend to put their marriage last, or the kids come first, everything's about the kids. No, that's when you start to see marriages crumble because you are forgetting the foundation of the whole family, and that is the marriage. So your kids do not come before your spouse. There is a natural order to things, the first being God, then your spouse, then your children. That's actually the natural order of how things are supposed to go in a perfect world. You put your spouse first, and you will begin to see a change in your spouse that will be most pleasing to you. And this will be overall good for your whole family. So the last tip comes again from divorce attorney James Sexton. I gotta admit, I love this guy. I could listen to him all day. He's fascinating to listen to on this topic. But he actually has a really interesting take on marriage, one that I actually identify with quite well because that's kind of how I view my own marriage for reasons.
They'll say like, well, yeah, but how do you stay madly in love with somebody, excited about them? Like, you've been together for 10 years. Like, hey, I have a dog who's 13 years old. I have never once come home, looked at that dog and went, I gotta get a puppy. This dog, I have 13 years. How many years am I supposed to pet this dog? I wanna get a cool young dog who's like fun and I can play ball with. Like, that's my dog. Like, I love that dog. Like, I love that dog more every day. Every TV show, the wife is rolling her eyes at the husband, like, oh, this idiot I'm married to. And the guy is like, oh, there's the most loathsome harpy ever to castrate a man, and she's not sleeping with him anymore. And this is acceptable behavior, and that's crazy. Like, this should be your primary relationship. This should be your biggest cheerleader. This should be the person that you're rooting for. Love your spouse a quarter of as much as you love your dog. Try that.
He says that you should look at your marriage like it's a beloved dog. You know, like a dog that you know is not going to be around forever. You know there's a sense of finality to them being in your life. And that should always be in the back of your mind. Not exactly like to dwell on, but just to realize and accept that this relationship that you have with this person will end someday, no matter what. It's either going to end in death or divorce. And it's kind of funny yet sad that if we were to attend a wedding of someone and be like brutally honest, like not have a filter, and sincerely wish them well in their marriage, we would say something like, I hope your marriage ends in death. Because that is the goal when we get married, right? We want it to end in death. So we should fight to the death for our marriage. And when you look at this life you've built with someone, much like a beloved dog, there should be a caring for the relationship. as to not take any second that you're with this person for granted. Because one day, they won't be there, and you will be alone. So my advice to everyone listening is don't take anything for granted, and try to the best of your ability to keep that reciprocity of the affection going as long as you're together. And you may find that your marriage taking on a new level of companionship that you've never dreamed possible. It's worth a shot anyway. And when I say it's worth a shot, this is where I came up with my pickleball analogy, which I will get to in a minute. So to recap, here are a list of ways in which you can divorce-proof your marriage. Starting with number 1, have kids. They bind you to each other and create a deeper, long-lasting, and satisfying relationship. Number 2, avoid marrying someone who has already been married. Number 3, people over 25 should have their act together at that point. If they don't, and they're making really dumb mistakes, don't bet on marriage with them. Number 4, keep your body count low or non-existent. This type of thing actually kills marriages before they even begin. Just look at the data. Number 5, don't play house before you're married. Why give yourself over with no commitment and then expect commitment after the fact? The data doesn't support it. Number 6, don't post about your relationship or seek validation online. It will backfire. Be accountable for your own actions. Number 7, embrace the fact that marriage isn't about you anymore. Focus 100% of your energy on the other person. That is your responsibility and your role in the marriage. Embrace it. Number 8, treat your marriage like a beloved dog. It's going to end at some point. The question is, to what lengths are you willing to go to keep your marriage alive like you would your beloved old dog? Thanks for watching this clip from the Grateful Wife podcast. If you'd like to see more, please like this video and subscribe to my channel so you can get all the latest content. Hope to see you back here, and until next time, stay grateful.